Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is Kareem. Today I'll be discussing with you the reading module. This is Cambridge 16 Test 1 Academic Reading, and this is the first passage, as you can see. In this video I'll tell you how to deal with IELTS reading. So please pay attention and listen carefully. Here I will be giving logical explanation of the answers, how to get the right answer and what is the right strategy. I'll be giving you a lot of tips and tricks, so please watch the video till the end. And also please do like, share and subscribe if you like the video. You can also share it with your friends if you like my strategy. I am a certified IELTS trainer, and today I'll be discussing about the IELTS academic reading module. This is the reading passage 1. As you can see, the heading is why we need to protect the polar bears. I just want to show you what I have. So this is the first page. Here we are having 4 paragraphs. And then this is our second page. Here we are having 4 paragraphs, which is the continuation. And then we have the questions, right? First we have the true, false and not given. And then we are having the fill-ups, right? So the first tip which I am giving you is always read the questions first, then we have to dive into the passage. Don't read the whole passage first and waste a lot of time, then come to the question. This strategy will definitely waste a lot of time. So what I'm going to tell you is we have to underline the keywords in the questions itself. First, suppose, let's take the first question. In true, false, not given, what's the first question? Polar bears suffer from various health problems due to the buildup of fat under their skin. Right. So what are the keywords here? The polar bears suffer from various health problems. This is the first keyword, due to the buildup of fat under their skin. So fat under the skin, this can also be one more keyword. So we have to look for polar bears, their health problems and fat under their skin, right? So first read the first passage and then let's come back to this question again. Right. Polar bears are being increasingly threatened by the effects of climate change, but their disappearance could have far-reaching consequences. They are uniquely adapted to the extreme conditions of the Arctic Circle, where temperatures can reach minus 40 degrees centigrade. One reason for this is that they have up to 11 centimeters of fat under their skin. So this is the keyword we are looking for. Humans with comparative levels of adipose tissue would be considered obese and would be likely to suffer from diabetes and heart disease. So these are the serious health problems. Yet the polar bear experiences no such consequences. Wow, I think we got our answer. See, the answer is in the last sentence. What does this say? Yet the polar bear experiences no such consequences, means that there is no health issues like diabetes and heart disease in the polar bears. Humans can have this. Humans can have diabetes and heart disease, but polar bears, they do not have any such consequences, right? So what's the first answer? It is false, right? And one more thing I want to tell you is always write in capitals. Whatever is your answer, please write it in capitals. We just got the first answer, right? So let's move to the next one. The study done by Liu and his colleagues compared different groups of polar bears, right? What is the keyword here? Study done by Liu and his colleagues compared different groups of polar bears. So different groups of polar bears is one more keyword, right? So let's go back to the next passage and search for these keywords. In a 2004 study by Shiping, Liu and colleagues, yes, we got the keyword, sheds light on this mystery. They compared the genetic structure of polar bears with that of their close relatives from a warmer climate, the brown bears. This allowed them to determine the genes that have allowed polar bears to survive in one of the toughest environments on Earth. Liu and his colleagues found the polar bears had a gene known as APOB, which reduces the levels of low density lipoproteins, LDS, a form of bad cholesterol. In humans, mutations of this gene are associated with increased risk of heart disease. Polar bears may therefore be an important study model to understand heart disease in humans. Yes. We got something here in the second sentence, right? They compared the genetic structure of polar bears with that of their close relatives from warmer climate, the brown bears. Okay, they are comparing the polar bears and brown bears. Now, what does the question say? The study done by Liu and his colleagues compared different groups of polar bears. See, he is talking only about polar bears, right? But in the second, what is he comparing in actual? He is comparing polar bears and brown bears. So they are not the same group. Hence it is false, right? Yes. So let's move to the third question now. Liu and his colleagues were the first researchers to compare polar bears and brown bears genetically. So first researchers is our keyword, right? To compare the polar bears and brown bears genetically. So genetically, I think we have read about this in the second passage itself, right? A study by Liu and colleagues sheds light on this mystery. Okay, they compared the polar bears and the brown bears here. Okay, which allowed them to survive in the toughest environments on Earth. But is there anything given? Is there anything given that they were the first researchers? This is the keyword, because were they the first researchers or not? Is there anything given in this paragraph? I can't see anything. It just says that they shed light on the mystery. This was a mystery from beginning and they just shed a light on this. Means they are interested to know about this more and more and they came to research on this. But this para doesn't say that they were the first researchers. Hence, as there is nothing given about this, the answer will be right, not given. So third one, it is not given. Let's move to the fourth one now. Okay. Polar bears are able to control their levels of bad cholesterol by genetic means. So what are the keywords here? Bad cholesterol by genetic means. Okay. So polar bears are able to control. Control is also one of the keywords. So let's read further and try to understand this. Okay. Liu and his colleagues found the polar bears had a gene known as APOB, which is called LDLs, a form of bad cholesterol. We got one keyword. In humans, mutations of this gene are associated with increased risk of heart disease. Polar bears may therefore be an important study model to understand the heart disease in humans. Okay. Here it is given a gene known as APOB reduces the level. Reduces means decreases the levels of low density lipoproteins, LDLs, a form of bad cholesterol. So in the question, what does this mean, my dears? Control is nothing but the keyword given for reduces, right? So which reduces the levels of LDLs, means controls the level of bad cholesterol by genetic means. Hence the fourth one, it is true. It's absolutely true. Yes, it is given. It reduces the levels of LDLs, a form of bad cholesterol. So they can control their levels of bad cholesterol by genetic means. It is 100% true. Right. Let's move on to the next question. Fifth one. Female polar bears are able to survive for about 6 months without food. So what is the keyword here? Female polar bears about to survive for 6 months without food. Okay, so we look for something about female polar bears, right? Let's move to the third passage then. The genome of the polar bear may also provide the solution for another condition, one that particularly affects our older generation, osteoporosis. This is a disease where bones show reduced density, usually caused by insufficient exercise, reduced calcium intake, or food starvation. Bone tissue is constantly being remodeled, meaning that bone is added or removed depending on nutrient availability and the stress that the bone is under. Female polar bears, yes, we have reached the one of the keyword. However, undergo extreme conditions during every pregnancy. Once autumn comes around, these females will dig maternity dens in the snow and will remain there throughout the winter, both before and after the birth of their cubs. Okay, great. This process results in about 6 months of fasting. 6 months without food, 6 months of fasting, where the female bears have to keep themselves and their cubs alive, depleting their own calcium and calorie levels. Despite this, their bones remain strong and dense. Wow. See, despite all this, their bones remain strong and dense. See, guys, we have got the one keyword here, female polar bears. Then 6 months of fasting means 6 months without food. So, despite all this pregnancy and digging the holes and staying there for 6 months, they can survive it, of course, because it is given here. Their bones remain strong and dense despite all this situation. So, yes, if you want to read the question once more, female polar bears are able to survive for about 6 months without food? Yes, of course. True. Yes. So let's move to the next question, sixth one. It was found that the bones of female polar bears were very weak when they came out of their dens in spring. Okay, so very weak is one of the keyword. When they came out of their dens in spring is one more keyword, right? I think we have read something about this, right? Where did we read this? Yeah, see, once autumn comes around, these females will dig maternity dens in the snow and will remain there throughout the winter, both before and after the birth of their cubs, right? This process results in about 6 months of fasting, where the female bears have to keep themselves and their cubs alive, depleting their own calcium and calorie reserves. Despite this, their bones remain strong and dense. It is said that their bones remain strong and dense. It is found that the bones of female are very weak. No, this is contradicting clearly, hence this is false. This is telling the opposite meaning. Even though they stay there for 6 months, the bones of polar bears are very strong and dense. Hence this is opposing. This is false. Right, seventh one. The polar bear's mechanism for increasing bone density could also be used by people one day. So what are the keywords here? The polar bear's mechanism for increasing the bone density could also be used by people. Okay, so these are our keywords, people one day. Let's read further and try to understand. Let's move to the next paragraph. Psychologist Alenda Lennox. See, there is no need to read the names of these psychologists in full. You can just read Alenda and Ellen. That's it. Because to read the passage quickly, okay? Psychologist Alenda and Ellen found an explanation for this paradox in 2008. They discovered that pregnant bears are able to increase the density of their bones before they started to build their dens. In addition, 6 months later, when they finally emerged from the den with their cubs, there was no evidence of significant loss of bone density. Hibernating brown bears do not have this capacity and must therefore resort to major bone reformation in the following spring. If the mechanism, see, we got one keyword, if the mechanism of bone remodeling in polar bears can be understood, many bedridden humans and even astronauts could potentially benefit. See, guys, many bedridden humans and even astronauts could potentially benefit. Means if we can study the mechanism of bone remodeling in polar bears, then we can find a solution to humans as well. So what was our question? The polar bear's mechanism for increasing bone density could be used by people one day. Yes, of course, it can be used. It is true. This is exactly telling the same thing as in the passage. Hence, this is true. Great, guys. So far we are going great. Let's move on to the next set of questions. Here we have some fill-ups. Guys, I am taking the video in a slow manner because I want to explain a lot of things to you. I am not taking it in a fast-paced way, right? So try to understand. Just for explanation purpose, I am doing this, but in the exam, you have to do it pretty quickly. You have to be very fast. You have to underline the keywords, find the keywords in the passage. You have to get the answers as quickly as possible because we don't have much time. Okay, There are 3 long passages. For each passage we have approximately 20 minutes. So within these 20 minutes you have to complete the whole passage. So 3 passages will take 60 minutes. So within these 60 minutes you have to find the answers and you have to transfer the answers onto the answer sheet if you are writing a paper based test. So first of all we have to read the instructions very clearly. What does this say? One word only, one word only. So always keep in mind when you are writing the answers. Right. Reasons why polar bears should be protected. People think of polar bears as unintelligent and dash. So what is the keyword here? Unintelligent one is the first keyword and something else is there. So let's find out what it is. Let's take it as a challenge, or let's consider we are solving some puzzle. Right guys, let's move to the next paragraph, that is this one. The medical benefits of polar bear for humanity certainly have their importance in our conservation efforts. But these should not be only factors taken into consideration. We tend to want to protect animals we think are intelligent and possess emotions, such as elephants and primates. Okay. Bears, on the other hand, seem to be perceived as stupid and in many cases violent. Wow, I think we just got the answer. Stupid means unintelligent. This is just a synonym, right, for unintelligent. Right. So what is the question here? People think of bears as unintelligent and dash. What do we have here? Bears, on the other hand, seem to be perceived as stupid and in many cases violent. Stupid is the synonym for unintelligent. So what will come here? Of course, it is violent. Right? Hence it is violent. Clear? Let's move to the next question then. However, this may not be correct. For example, in Tennoji Zoo, a bear was seen using a branch as a dash. This allowed him to knock down some dash. Okay, so we have to look at, this is the keyword, Tennoji Zoo. A bear was using a branch, a tree branch, as a dash, something it is using. So let's find out. So I think the keyword is directly here, right? A male bear called Gogo in Tennoji Zoo, Osaka, even been observed making use of a tool to manipulate this environment. The bear used a tree branch, see this is the tree branch, on multiple occasions to dislodge a piece of meat, hung out of its reach. Yeah. So bear has been using a branch as a dash. It is using it as a, we have it here. A male bear called Gogo has even been observed making use of a tool to make this environment. Use of a tool. So this tree branch is being used as a tool. That's it. Tree branch as a tool. This allowed him to knock down some. What did it knock down? Knock down means dislodge. Occasions to dislodge a piece of meat. Here we can write only one word. So here we can write down only meat. Right? So it was using the branch as a tool, and which is used to knock down some meat. Knock down is the synonym given for dislodge. Okay, so that's how you have to correlate. That's how you have to relate the fill in the blanks, right? What's the next one? A wild polar bear worked out a method of reaching a platform where a dash was located. A wild polar bear worked out a method of reaching a platform is the keyword where something was located. What is it? Right. Problem solving ability has also been witnessed in wild polar bears. Yes, he came to wild polar bears now. Although not as obviously as with Gogo, a calculated move by a male bear involved running and jumping onto barrels in an attempt to get to a photographer standing on a platform 4 meters high. Photographer was standing on a platform. We have the keyword platform. Means a wild polar bear reaching a platform where a dash was located. Yeah, it was trying to get to a photographer. So it is given here clearly in an attempt to get to a photographer. Get to a. This is the synonym for reaching. Yes. So reaching where a photographer was located? Right, photographer was located. Next one. Polar bears have displayed behavior such as conscious manipulation of objects and activity similar to a dash. What is the keyword here? Have displayed behavior such as conscious manipulation of objects and activity similar to a. There is some activity similar to something. Let's read what it is. Let's read it first, okay? Right. In other studies, such as one by Allison Ames in 2008, polar bears showed deliberate and focused manipulation. Yes, we got one keyword, manipulation. For example, Ames observed bears putting objects in piles and then knocking them over in what appeared to be a game. Yeah. So what are the bears doing? They are putting objects in piles, means they are keeping the objects one above the other and knocking them over in what appeared to be a game. The study demonstrates that bears are capable of agile and throughout behaviors. Yes, agile behaviors. These examples suggest bears have great creativity and problem-solving abilities than previously thought. Yeah, I think we got the answer right. Polar bears have displayed behavior such as conscious manipulation of objects. Manipulation of objects means putting the objects one on one and knocking them over. An activity similar to in what appeared to be a game. Right? So the answer here is game. It is clearly given, guys. Right? I hope you are following me. So Ames observed bears putting objects in piles and then knocking them over in what appeared to be a game. So this activity is similar to a game, right? Next one. Bears may also display emotions. For example, they may make movements suggesting dash if disappointed when hunting. So what is the keyword? They make movements if suggesting dash if disappointed when hunting. That is our keyword. They may form relationship with other species. This is not required. As for emotions, while the evidence is once again anecdotal, many bears have been seen to hit out at ice and snow seemingly out of frustration when they have just missed out on a kill. Wow. Missed, what does this mean? Just missed out on a kill means disappointed when hunting, right? So they both are matching easily. So many bears have been seen to hit out at ice and snow seemingly out of frustration when they have just missed out on a kill. So they may make movements suggesting frustration. If disappointed when hunting. Right, guys? See, clearly we can understand this very easily, guys, if we can just pay some attention. Many bears have been seen to hit out at ice and snow. Means when they miss out a kill, they are just going and hitting the ice and snow very badly. So they are showing this sense of frustration. This is what he is asking here. They may make movements. Movements means going and hitting the ice and snow, suggesting frustration if disappointed when hunting. That's it. Clear, guys? So this is the passage 1 of the test 1, right? In the coming videos, I'll be making more and more videos on the remaining passages and remaining tests as well. So guys, I hope the video is pretty clear. Please like, share and subscribe the video if you liked it, and I'll be coming back to you with more and more videos. I wish you all the best for your IELTS. Please take care. Have a great day. Goodbye.